So guys, this is another really interesting video for me to make because I decided to finally make a review for the manga and anime series, The Promised Neverland. I say this is interesting because normally I do just anime reviews on here, especially ones that are adaptations of different mangas, but for this occasion I decided to make a review for the anime, but especially for the manga. If you don't know, the anime for The Promised Neverland is in a weird space with what they did with it after season 1. I'll get into that later. But for now, I'm just going to talk about the first part of the series and a summary of the whole story. So, The Promised Neverland is another Shonen Jump series that was created in 2016 and finished in 2020. It only had 20 volumes, which means it's one of the shortest manga series I've ever read. It was created and written by Taiyu Shirai and illustrated by Puju Yamizu. I got into this series last year. I got all the manga volumes and finished it pretty quickly. Like I said, it's only 20 volumes long, and the volumes themselves are honestly not that long. You can read through them really quickly. I'm not 100% sure what it was about the series that made me want to check it out. Maybe it was just because it was another Shonen Jump series, or maybe I just thought it looked cool, but for whatever reason, I started the series last year, and I absolutely loved it. This might be one of my favorite new Shonen Jump manga series of all time. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I did absolutely love it nonetheless. So I'm going to be doing a review for the entire thing from start to finish, and like always, this will have full spoilers for the full story, so if you don't want anything spoiled, go read or watch this and then come back and watch the rest of it. Also, yeah, this video is probably going to be really long, so yeah, I should probably advise you about that as well. So, the general plot for this series is that the beginning is set in some orphanage called Rayfield House, where there's a whole bunch of kids being looked after by a woman named Isabella. The main characters of this series are 3 kids named Emma, Ray, and Norman. They've all been there their whole lives, and they live happily there and are always playing with the other kids and taking tests and being loved by Isabella. They've never seen the outside world beyond the wall that surrounds the orphanage. Sometimes they're having to say goodbye to one of their friends in the orphanage because they get adopted, but they never hear from them again. One night, one of the girls there named Connie gets adopted, but leaves her stuffed rabbit behind, and so Emma and Norman go to give it to her at the gate. But when they get there, they find Connie's body in a truck because she's been killed, and it's revealed that it was done by the demon creatures, and Isabella intentionally handed her over to them, and Emma and Norman put together that the orphanage is actually a harvesting ground for the demons, and Isabella is handing the kids to them to eat. And this completely messes with the two of them, since they pretty much destroyed everything they've ever known about what they ever knew, and now they're thinking of escaping with the other kids to go to the outside outside world before anyone else died. So yeah, that's a pretty insane premise for a Shonen Jump series, but at this point what series is. And what I loved about the early stages of the story was that the whole pen vibe of the series that really kept everything really interesting and the way the series was going, because the series itself is a dark fantasy horror story where Emma, Ray, and Norman doing everything they can to investigate what's really happening and what's the best way to escape while not trying to be discovered by Isabella. With the first 5 volumes of the manga, we get a whole bunch of information for the series, especially in volume 2 when another adult named Crone comes to the house and decides she wants to try to kill Isabella because she wants to be the mother of this house, because the woman who runs an orphanage is given the title of a mother, and Crone wants to be the mother of this house. That's actually another big piece of information given to us, that there are multiple houses just like Rayfield, and Crone, even though she doesn't really like the kids, decides to help them in order to get what she wants. So, like I said, for the first 5 volumes of the manga, what I absolutely loved the most was the constant planning and brilliant ideas the characters were coming up with to figure out how to escape the orphanage, like when they try to train the other kids to run faster and hide too. They also do other things too, like they realize they have tracking devices in their ears, and so they try to figure out how to disable them. But that's not to say it doesn't have other minor things too, like how we learn more of the character's personalities, like how Emma, seeing as she's the main protagonist, is the more happy-go-lucky one who's always looking on the bright side of things. Norman being the clever and methodical and having a caring and friendly side to him, and Ray being the more quiet and almost kind of somber person, but he's still one who cares for the others like them, but still wants to keep everyone safe and keep everything to himself. We even get some good comedy from this too. Even though the series is super serious a lot of the time, it still knows how to be funny when it needs to be. But the most important part is that it keeps the focus on the story and the characters, and it does that very well. I also love when they slowly begin to bring others into the plan as well, especially John and Gilda, as in 2 kids who are their age, and Emma and Ray and Norman decide to tell them, and even though they never tell that the other kids who are being adopted are actually all dead, and so when John and Gilda begin to get suspicious and find out what's really happening, and they lose it and get angry at them, but they all manage to compose themselves enough to realize they all need to be on the same side. But then things start to go really crazy when Crone eventually gets discovered by Isabella, and so she and the other demons decide to kill her and have Emma and the others killed too, since they know the secret, and so Isabella decides to have Norman shipped out, and Emma tries to save him, but he decides to go through with it as a way to save Emma and Ray. After he gets off and after he has a quick chat with Emma and Ray act like they've given up on trying to escape, but we've actually got two separate plans going on because Ray decides to kill himself on his birthday because with her kids don't get sent off until they're about 12, and so he decides to do it, but Emma manages to stop him and reveals how the other kids all now know what's going on, and they've all agreed to escape and save Ray. And so we get a whole lot of crazy things happening that night, like Ray almost killing himself, but Emma saving him, like I mentioned, and they all managed to trick Isabella by having Emma cut off her own ear with a tracking device in it, and Ray wow, and so they have all the kids that are 5 years old or over, and now are going to escape and leave the younger kids who can walk at all or run fast and come back for them later at some point. So Emma, Ray, John, and Yoda, and the other kids managed to escape, and that whole thing there is what I've been talking about until now, that takes up the first 5 volumes of the manga and the first season of the anime. So in terms of just this segment of the story alone, it's honestly brilliant. I think the structure of everything is so well thought out, and how they do all sorts of different revealed and have twists and turns is amazingly thought out, and how they show each one is really, really smart, every single one of them. I love how they not only show the different ways the characters think of each of these schemes, while Isabella is hot on their heels the whole time, and it feels like they could be discovered any moment and sent to the demon, but also show all the characters' different personalities along the way too. Like I said, Emma is like a lot of other Shonen Jump protagonists, with being super cheerful and happy and optimistic, Norman being smarter and more careful with how he plans things out, and Ray being super secretive and quiet, but doing whatever it takes to keep the others safe. But it's not just them. We also have John, who's a bit more of a hothead, but still being able to think things through carefully and cleverly, and Yoda being the more kind and gentle one, who's still worried about everything that's happening, and just all the other small things that happen are crazy too, like when Crone dies, when Isabella breaks him a leg, or when Norman discovers the fact that the wall around them has a gigantic gap between their side and the one leading to the outside world. We even learn other smaller twists in the part as well, like how Ray is actually Isabella's real son. Honestly, everything that happened up until now was all enough to get me super intrigued and into the series, and I was really excited to see where the rest would take the story, and everything honestly just keeps getting better and better and better from this point, because even though I really enjoyed all the stuff at Rayfield House, everything that happens after they leave is really great as well. Not only are they leaving to escape and find out the secrets of the world and what really happened to make the world this way, but they're also trying to meet up with someone named Minerva because they found a bunch of books in the library that have his name in them, and so they feel like he was trying to send them a message. So as they're leaving, they're being pursued by other demons, which lead to Emma falling unconscious due to blood loss because her ear was cut off. But then all of them get saved by some other demons who don't eat humans at all and are willing to help them. There's two of them, and their names are Sanju and Mujita, and from them we learn a lot more information about the story and what's really vital to the plot. So the main thing is that they tell Emma and Ray that the reason the world is like this is because there was a promise made 1,000 years ago, made by humans and demons to do the harvesting of human children to give to the demons because they wanted to stop the constant fighting and killing that was happening, and that they're two separate worlds, the demon world and the human world, and that they're in the demon world. This was stuff that was insane to read about the first time I read it, and I'm not gonna lie, when I was going through it, even though Sanju and Mujita were saying they didn't want to eat any of them and were actually pretty friendly, I was expecting them to do something to them at some point, but they never did. They genuinely really wanted to help and be friendly, and they ended up being some of my favorite characters in the whole series. Anyway, they also teach them different techniques too, like Sanju teaches Emma how to hunt, and Mujita even gives Emma some amulet that she says will help her. They then leave again to find the location of some place that they believe Minerva was leading them to, and so they eventually get there, and it's some kind of underground bunker, and find that there's only one random person there. He doesn't tell them who he is, but he explains how he's been there for many years and that he came from a similar place as them, but all the people he was with were all killed, so it's just him on his own this entire time. This is something I found really interesting about the series because as the plot kept getting more reveals like this, I was really interested to know what exactly was going to happen and how it was going to happen, especially with this new guy being introduced, and I had heard this guy was actually a lot of other people's favorite character, and there's another example of there being a huge difference from the manga to the anime because this part right here in the anime is where things change dramatically because for some reason they decided to cut this guy from the anime entirely, and we never see him at all, which means there's a lot of the upcoming stuff not in the anime at all. Like a lot of people, I have absolutely no idea what they were thinking with removing him from the anime, which means that the upcoming part of the story in the manga is completely cut out entirely, which is a terrible idea because the upcoming parts in the manga are some of the best parts of the whole story. Anyway, when they meet him, he says he wants them to leave so they don't get clinic all the food and other things in the bunker he wanted to keep for himself, and he even threatened to kill Emma if they don't, but she manages to stop him and they tie him down so he doesn't hurt anyone. They then find a letter from Minerva telling them that they have the option to either stay there or go to another location for more stuff, and so Emma and Ray decide to go to this location alone, but they decide to bring the man with them in case he tried to hurt the other kids. This part here actually kind of introduces a pretty dark moment for Emma because she basically threatened the man, saying that unless he helps them get to this place, they'll just blow the bunker up, seeing as he's so desperate to keep it for himself. So the three of them leave and find the other place, and even Hilda threatens the guy by saying the same thing as Emma, by saying that unless one of them comes back with him, she'll just blow the place up herself. On the way though, the three of them get attacked by more demon monsters that act like animals, but not like the other demons they saw, who look different but still act more or less like humans. This then leads to Emma getting captured by other demons and taken away after her and the guy were having a talk about how he revealed how he escaped originally. Emma then finds herself in some kind of amusement park place, and is revealed to be some place called Josie Pond, which is where some of the other demons pay to get kids to be brought there so they can hunt them for fun. She meets other kids while there and learns just how dangerous it is there because some of the kids that she meets end up getting killed, and this resolve in her that she makes for herself makes the other kids see her as like a good person, and so they take her to meet another man that they know who's been there for a long time named Lucas. And what's really cool about him is that he's one of the other men's friends, because this is the place the other guy was mentioning. The two of them were there together, but the other guy was able to escape, but all the other friends were killed, so the two of them were the only survivors. Lucas also showed Emma a door there that he believes was left there by Minerva, and Emma is able to open it due to the special pen she has with her. When they open it, they find an actual small golden pond with a tiny island on it and an elevator on it, and so they think it could lead them to the human world, but then they hear a recording on a phone from Minerva himself saying that his real name is James Rattery, and that he created the elevator to take people to the human world if they ever wanted to, but this one has been closed and can't be used. He then explains that his brother named Peter Rattery betrayed him years ago and tried to get him killed because James himself was trying to save everyone while Peter was trying to kill everyone, since they're descendants of the family that made the original Promise. Not only that, but he then explains how there are other ways to get to the human world, and they're actually in the different orphanages. So, just like Ray field house. That was a major turning point when I read it, because even though it was obvious that Emma and the others were gonna have to go back there at some point, since they still need to get the rest of the kids and and so on. The fact that this place was also being set up as the place where the final fight was gonna be happening made it really intense and awesome. Emma also not only learned all this information, but that one of the kids named Adam, he's saying some numbers that are actually the same numbers that Norman had on his neck. I didn't mention that yet, but every Rayfield House kid had a bunch of numbers tattooed on their neck as a way to label them. And I think the idea is that they were supposed to believe that Adam was actually Norman, but just an enhanced version of him to be this giant kid. But then it's revealed that Adam saw Norman at some facility he was being taken to the night he was supposed to have been killed. So this gives Emma hope that he's still alive. This then leads to a really awesome action scene where Emma teams up with the kids there to try to kill the demons there, because they discover that shooting their eyes is what kills them, and so we get a whole action scene where everyone tries to kill them, and it goes well for the most part, except when there's one demon who's insanely powerful, and he's the leader, and he's harder to hit than Levius. Not only is he insanely tough to kill, but he also almost kills Emma by stabbing her, and she's almost killed. But then Ray and the other guy arrive, and they all team up to take him down. This is also where she and Lucas reunite after all this time, and that was a really nice moment as well. They then agree to take everyone back to the shelter, and the man decides to take Emma back himself to save her, and so he does, and we even learn his name here is Yuzo, which is insane but incredibly awesome. So I really want to talk about this part. A lot of people consider this the whole Jodie Pond segment to be maybe the best part of the whole story, and while I'm not entirely sure if I can necessarily agree, I do agree that it's an amazing part anyway, not just for the cool action scenes and new lore we learn, but also just in terms of character development and learning more about the different characters and their motivations, like learning who Yuzo is and his backstory of being at Jodie Pond before and now having to come back there, and learning his lesson along the way. It just made for a really interesting and cool character. Not to mention Lucas joining them too, and they now have two adults on their side too, which made a lot of this a lot more exciting and what could happen soon as well. And what does happen next is insane and pretty tragic again as well. Everyone tries to decide what to do now, and Emma decides to go to this supposed demon god who helped create the promise that was made over 1,000 years ago, and to make a new promise to hopefully keep everyone safe and go to the human world. So Emma, Ray, John, and Julia decide to go to some place that they found in some books about this place that looks like a dragon's eye if you look at it in a certain way. And when when they get there, Emma gets a vision where she's somehow with the demon god they're trying to find, and he says they need to find him for real if they really want to talk to him. They then decide to go to the town where demons live, and they're able to disguise themselves as demons, and they find this temple that has pictures on the ceiling that tell them where something called the seven walls are, and so they decide to go to this place, and this is where the tragic stuff really begins, because one of Peter Rattley's men named Andrew finds them along with his men, and they decide to just kill everyone, and this leads to another super tense moment where they have to evade Andrew and his men while trying to escape, and you grow to really hate Andrew as well, because he's basically trying to kill children because he's a psychopath. Anyway, they manage to get out, but then Yujo and Luke decide to try to keep Andrew and his men distracted and give the kids a chance to escape, even though they know they're more than likely going to die, and then that leads to them trying to kill every last one of them, but they get hit multiple times and they're dying, but Yujo manages to get them to a room full of gas cans, and he shoots them to try to kill Andrew. I don't know why, but even though I probably should have expected they would die, it was still surprising to see the two of them die, considering how big they were to the other characters. But after they die, it was nice to have a moment where Yujo imagines reuniting with his old friend again, and they both really do die. This, however, doesn't kill Andrew yet, and he goes on an absolutely insane rampage, demanding the kids to surrender and die, and he even does end up killing some of the kids, and is about to kill the rest of them, but then we get a really satisfying moment where a demon comes out and kills him. This then leads to the reveal of a bunch of new characters who are some older kids who were informed as well until this Minerva guy was able to save them, and they reveal that Minerva and them have been going around to other farms to save the kids. Stuff like this in a manga is the kind of stuff I absolutely love, where when a specific character or group of characters show up and sort of help expand the world more, and then they become super important. I've seen this be done in a lot of different ones, and it always great to see them, to see more before the story goes into bigger plot. We even sort of get more characters help from that as well, because it just helps make the cast grow even larger. In the case of these new characters, they say that Minerva sent them to find them and to take them back to their base. When they get there, they see it's a gigantic tree with a whole bunch of different kids there, and Emma finally finds Minerva there, who it turns out is actually Norman. He's been masquerading as Minerva for a while and has been helping as many kids as he can. This is another part that changes a whole bunch of new stuff going forward, not just because Norman is finally back, but because when Emma and Ray talk to him, they learn a whole bunch more, a lot more information about the state everything is in. For example, he explains the reason there's different kinds of demons, as in ones that act like humans and ones that act like animals. It's because they evolve based on what they eat. That's why they were eating children all the time because they have to keep eating in order to maintain it. Not just that, but there's also the town that Emma and the others were at before where the demons live, and in the town there lives a royal family of demons, and this begins a long story where Norman decides to meet with some other demons who hate the higher-ups of the demons because they're getting the better food, as in human children that they're eating, and they're left with tiny pieces to survive by comparison. And so Norman decides to pick up both sides of the demons against each other to have them try to kill each other with an invasion, and then once the majority of them are dead, Norman is planning on killing the last few survivors with the other kids that he's met. But Emma has sort of begun to change because she realizes that demons are like people in a sense that they eat to survive and get along with each other. So she wants to create a world where every living creature can get along, especially since they already have no demons like that with Sanju and Mujita. This then made Ray talk about how Sanju and Mujita were not only very intelligent, but also didn't eat humans and actually help them. They don't try to tell Norman this, but he apparently says that Mujita is some kind of special demon whose blood is able to make other demons be like her in the sense that they don't need to eat humans to keep their intelligence. This actually shows a super clever plot twist that revolves around the royalty trying to make it so that this because they have Mujita's blood in them, and that's why they're so intelligent, but they like how they have a grasp over ruling over all the other demons, and so they make it so that they can keep that in control by making it so the demons recognize them as royalty, even though Mujita's blood is what's making them that way. But then this is where things get extremely insane, because Norman sort of becomes a villain for a small bit because he wants to kill Sanju and Mujita as a way to help cause the extinction of the demon race. Emma and Ray try to argue against this though, and think there's a better way to go about it, and think that if they can make it so that no one has to die, because they think they can find the demon god that Emma saw briefly before, they can make a new promise and send the human to the human world, and the demon can stay alive in the demon world. And so Norman gives them a time limit because he still wants to go through with his plan, but he says that if they can find him and make the promise, he'll leave everyone alone. But this is where a lot of things get really extreme, because Norman decides to let them do that, but he also let John and Gilda try to find Sanju and Mujita to protect them, but he's really trying to find them and kill them with his gang that the other guys met before and try to have them kill them. Not only that, but Norman has also so manipulated by royalty into thinking demons who want to rebel and eat the children are the ones who were attacking the farm when it was him the whole time, and that's how he's getting to have all the sides fight each other. I'm not gonna lie, stuff like this and storytelling like this is what made me love anime and manga so much. When they have plots that are being unfolded in so many genius ways that also get me excited for whenever I see them and see what's going to happen. Anyway, while Emma and Ray are out to find the seven walls, which is where the demon god is said to be, John and Gilda are heading out to find Sanju and Mujita, and the different demon armies are coming in close to each other, and we get talked around from different perspectives. A lot of other mangas do that too, and a lot of them, and yeah, this one is no different. My favorite stuff is honestly everything involving what Emma and Ray are doing, because they go to where the demon god is supposed to be, and when they find some huge door, they go through it and find themselves at Rayfield's house, but it's not the real one. It's some weird illusion version that the god had created, some sort of text for them, and when they go in, they find some versions of Isabella and the other kids who turn into skeletons, and the demon god even talks to them, and they go through a door that leads them to some other version of the house, and this part is honestly something that's super weird, and I love it. It's almost kind of supposed to be like a psychological horror where all sorts of different versions of rooms appear every time they open a door, and it just keeps getting weirder and weirder until Emma eventually figures out what's going on, and just says the reason this is happening is because their thoughts are creating what they're seeing, and so they both sort of try to imagine meeting the god, but only Emma is able to do it, whereas Ray is taken back to the shelter, and so Emma is the only one who is able to go see him while he's gone, and while she's with him, she discusses making the new promise. He says he's willing to grant her wish of bringing all the humans to the human world and have it where no one will ever be able to travel between the two worlds again. And this scene ends with him saying he wants a reward in return, but we don't see what it is. And I remember constantly wondering what it was going to be when I read it, because from how things were going, it looked as though it could have been anything bad. This is when we then set back in with Norman's group, because they're still following John and Gilda while they're trying to find Sanju and Mujita, and almost all of them are hoping to kill them as soon as possible, since they hate what demons have done to them and so many others. But one of them, who's the quiet girl, actually hates them because they killed a demon who she felt was like her dad, because he related to her and raised her because of a sense of similarity of people thinking they were both ugly, but then Norman killed him, and now she sort of won revenge, and so she tells John and Gilda what's going on. They eventually find Sanju and Mujita, but then Norman group ambushes them, but then one of them has this seizure that a lot of them have, and Mujita tries to help him despite what they were just trying to do, and this is when John and Gilda realize what Norman was up to and realize what his plan was. This is what I meant by Norman sort of becoming a villain for a small while, because they realize he's trying to kill every single demon, and so they start heading for the city where the demon royalty is. And this is when Emma returns from meeting the demon god, and all of them meet up and try to stop Norman because he's already attacking the royalty with the majority of them are dead along with the rebels. So Mujita tries to save as many of the demons as she can, while Emma and Ray find Norman, who acts like he's super proud of what he's done, but Emma is able to get through to him by calling him out, knowing what's really going on in his head, despite Norman trying to put up a front and act like nothing wrong until he eventually says he doesn't want to do this anymore. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. I mean, I guess it is kinda nice that he isn't just acting like some bloodthirsty crazy person and actually want to do the right thing, but how it's done, I feel like maybe there was something else that could have been done for this moment, but it's not like it's a problem. It's still a nice moment that Emma, Norman, and Ray are able to have together, and Sanju and Mujita manage to get Mujita's blood into the demon, but then the queen, who Norman thought was dead, isn't, and starts turning into this monster because she's another special kind of demon who starts to eat all the corpses around her. And we even get a really cool reveal where it turns out that Sanju is actually her brother, and this leads to another super cool moment where Mujita reveals that the queen is about to die since she's eaten a bunch of corpses that have Norman poison in them, and this means it's going to kill her. I've heard some people say that was kind of an anticlimactic way to kill her, but I thought it was awesome and really well thought out, especially when we see her mutate and see faces of everyone she's ever eaten, like Crone. This is also then when everyone realizes that the shelter where Norman had everything set up is being attacked, and so everyone is being kidnapped. So Emma, Norman, Ray, and Norman Jen with them, to help them, while Sanju and Mujita try to get everything under control in the town. But discover everyone is being taken back to Rayfield House, and they head back there to put an end to this. This is then when we finally get to see Harakiri as a villain, because he says he wants to create the Lambda farms, which are the worst kind of farms, and is where Norman freed his Jan. After Peter discovers the queen is dead and decides to be the king of everything, and everything that happens from this point onward just shows more and more how hateable he is, because he tried to get so many people killed and tried to get the mom to kill the kids as well. We even get a really cool moment where when Emma, Ray, and Norman return, they see Isabella and just glare up at her. But this is where a whole bunch of incredible moments happen, because the kids manage to hold Peter at gunpoint, and he thinks he outsmarted all of them by thinking the moms are on his side, especially Isabella. But then Isabella reveals that she managed to convince the other mom to turn against him, and she mentioned how proud she is of it, and so it looks like Peter is finally defeated. Not just that, but at the demon town where Sanju and Mujita still are, they were taken down and were about to be executed by all the other demons, but then it's revealed that Livia survived Jodie's Pond for the same reason as the Queen, and she sort of has a redemption where he held the demons there, that the only reason Mujita was being hunted is because the royalty said she was dangerous, and he even takes that hate of her blood to prove it's not dangerous, and tells them all the royalty's original plan to control them this way so they could stay in power. This helps them get everyone then be on their side, and this is what really takes Peter down, because then he believes, thinking if he kills Emma, things will go his way again. Emma then had a talk with him and tried to get through to him and make him stop all this, and so that they can be friends, but he doesn't believe this, so he then kills himself. That's another small thing where I don't know how to feel about that. For one thing, I was really glad he died after everything he did, but the whole thing overall just wasn't my favorite part of the series. Maybe I would have liked it more if he died, given one small bit of redemption and sacrifice, and maybe that one moment would have been his one act of goodness, though maybe they didn't do that because of what's about to happen. So Isabella and the other moms try to say that they'll redeem themselves by staying in the demon world, but then the children manage to convince them that if they want to redeem themselves, then they can come with them to the human world and find redemption there. Again, that part there itself, I don't entirely know how to think about it, because I get that Isabella and the other moms are the only parent figures they've ever known, but the whole thing is again done in a way where it makes me feel like maybe there should have been a bit more talking about it because of everything that happened. But it was still a good moment anyway, and it's nice to have Isabella and the other moms have redemption. They've been reunited with Phil and the other children under 5 years old and are about to go to a place in Rayfield that's supposed to take them to the human world, but then another demon who doesn't want to give up on human meat tries to attack Emma, but then Isabella jumps in front of her to save her and ends up getting killed, and when another demon kills that one, all the kids try to help Isabella, and this is what I meant a moment ago again about not having Peter have a sacrifice himself, because Isabella does it here, and I like the moment. It's nice to have Isabella's last act be an act of kindness and caring, and it was generally pretty sad to see her die, but also nice that she got one last moment with the kids, and they realize they've always loved her and seen her as a true mother to them. They then go to the portal, and Emma and Mujita even have a nice moment together, and then they say goodbye, and the whole part just leaves us wondering what kind of deal did Emma make with the demon god, because we still don't know what she offered him in return. When all the kids and the other moms get taken to the human world, they start celebrating, but then they realize that Emma is gone, and they get worried and start thinking that Emma got taken away for the promise to happen. They then meet some men and one of them said he heard unto, and they've known that they come and are looking for everyone who's been brought there because a lot of them got scattered around, and everyone is worried where Emma could be, so everyone decided to dedicate everything they have to find her. We then see that Emma appeared in some snowy mountain and is found by an old man who takes her to his house, but when she wakes up she doesn't remember anything. It's pretty much here where we realize that what the demon god took from Emma were her memories, and so she doesn't remember a single thing about what happened to her. We then cut to 2 years later where everyone is still trying to find Emma, and she's still living with the old man, and they're in a town one day, but when Emma tries to find the necklace that Mujita gave her that she dropped, she runs into the other kids who were in the same town at the same time, and they're incredibly happy to see her, but she says she doesn't know who any of them are, and so they all realize that what she had to sacrifice for her memories, and so Norman has a nice moment with her where he tells her that what they've been doing over the last 2 years are like they've been able to go to school, and even the technology they have here has helped the Lambda kids as well. They then decide to help her by having them all live together, even if she'll never remember who they are ever again. They're just glad to have her back in their lives, and the series ends with all of them deciding to stay in one series house together. So yeah guys, that really is it. I know the review might have been different compared to other anime reviews I've done before because I was talking about the manga this time, but I couldn't help it. I just really wanted to talk about this. It's like I said at the start, I can't remember what it was that made me want to set this series out in the first place, but I'm so glad I did because I absolutely love this series. It's become one of my favorite manga series of all time now. I love how, even though it's not the usual Shonen Jump storytelling you'd expect, it's still done the best way it could be done. I love how this is more of a fantasy horror story, which is something I'm not used to from Shonen Jump, but I love it for that anyway. A big part of why I love it is definitely because of the characters. I love them all. My favorite is probably Emma because of just how likable she was. I love how she's very similar to other Shonen Jump protagonists, but still has her own unique aspect to make her stand out. I think I heard somewhere that some people didn't like how she wanted to save the demons after everything they did to her, but I didn't really mind it. I thought it made sense with how they did it, and I think it made her more likable. But other characters like Norman, Ray, Yudo, San, Yu, Mujita, Don, Gilda, and everyone else were really likable as well. And really, I just can't get over just how well thought out this plot is. It's like I said, storytelling like this is why I love anime and manga so much, for just how amazingly stories like this are told. Hayu Shirai did an amazing job writing this series, and Posada Demiju's artwork is incredible. It looks very different to other artists' work, and how he does everything is really incredibly thought out in terms of her designs. The anime is also something where I don't really know what to make of it. I'm not even talking about how poorly season 2 was handled and what they did with that whole thing. Even season 1, they kind of weirdly put together. I don't know how to explain it, but something about the atmosphere of the anime and other things like that, like the editing in it and other things like that makes the anime kind of weird. Not bad at all, and overall the first season is good, I guess, but it's nowhere near as good as the manga, because I personally do feel like this is an instance where you should just get to the manga. But the anime does have some other good aspects to it too, like the job. Erica Mendez, Leon Hirajo, and Laura Shaw are all really good as Emma, Ray, and Norman, and everyone else does a good job too. But the anime isn't really something I want to go back to. In terms of the manga, I would absolutely want to go back to this multiple times, mainly thanks to the fact that the series is only 20 volumes long, but also the fact that I love it and would love to read it again multiple times. I really don't think I can recommend this series enough, and I would totally say this series is very underrated. I know people like this series and some even love it, but I don't think it gets enough attention. So yeah, guys, if you've never read this before, I would highly recommend it big time. Like I said, this has honestly now become one of my favorite manga series ever, and I really can't say enough good things about it. And even if you're not that much of a manga fan, I would still say you should check this out because there's some really amazing things in it. Again, especially since it's not that long. I was able to finish it really quickly myself. And so everyone, that's my review for the Promised Neverland. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all liked this video. If you did, then please like this video. Please comment down below to tell me what you think. Please follow me on Twitter where I do Kingdom Hearts and Disney Please every day. And if you know someone who might like my content, then please help share my videos in any way you can to help my channel grow. And please subscribe for more content like this coming soon, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.